So in this video, I want to share with you two moves that I made inside of my business that helped me go from 10 grand a month, pulling my damn hair out, to being able to hit a 14K day last week, which is not normal, but it is a cool achievement and flex, I guess, to get you to actually listen to me. But these two things that I did inside of my business, it really freaking works, okay? And if you're somebody that's running an agency or some type of online service business, I am telling you this video will change your life for a lot of different reasons if you resonate with the way that I actually view business, okay? So I'm going to be covering the two things that I did, how I implemented them, and how it helped me double, triple my freaking business. So let's go ahead. Let's dive into it. If you're new here, my name's Christian. I dropped out of college at 19, started an agency, built that up. Now I run a consulting business, and yeah, life's pretty good. All right, so the first thing that I have to make a disclaimer, because when you're listening to business advice, it's important that you understand the actual advice if it's applicable to you and what you want to build. For the longest time, I would follow advice from people that actually were not running the business that I wanted to run. And then if I did those things, it would lead to an outcome where it might have worked on paper and I made more money, but it might have, been a business that I actually didn't enjoy. So there's a couple of pillars that I view my business in, and you have to understand these first. The first thing, these are I would call them priorities in my business. These are the priorities that I am after. If your priority is to strictly make money, you will make different decisions than to the decisions that I made. So the first priority I have is simply freedom. I want to build a business that brings me freedom. Simply put, I'm in my 20s. I don't want to be trapped in my apartment all day. I want to have the luxury to go and travel. Next month, I'm going to Scottsdale with some of my boys. The month after that, I'm going to Spain with my cousins. And my business allows me to do that. So the first thing is freedom. The second thing is profit. I care about profit first. I don't want to build a ginormous company right now. If I want to do that later on in my life, I'll do it. But right now, I just care about profit. I want to have a high profit margin, and I don't want to build a big team and something very complex. That's just me, though. Okay, you need to know these things because it's one of two things. Either A, it's going to be aligned with you, and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, Christian's talking my language. This is what I want. Or you're going to say, dude, I want to grind 16 hours a day. I want to build a $100 million empire. And I'm just not your guy for that. At least in this point in my life, I'm just not your guy. So freedom, profit, and the last one, I would just call it simplicity. I want to build something that's simple and simplicity. Yep, there we go. We got it. And what I mean by this, simplicity, is I literally just want to help people, and that's what I get paid for. And I just want to show people that I can help them. And that's why I make content. And that's it. Like, that's my whole business model or my philosophy. These are the priorities in my business. Now, what are the decisions that I made? Well, I realized that if I wanted to have more freedom, which means more blank space on my calendar, less time on calls, less time managing people, I needed to have more leverage. I realized if I wanted to have more profit, that means I can't spend a ton of money on ads. I can't hire a bunch of people. I'm going to need more leverage, permissionless leverage, and Naval talks about that, media. I'm going to have to get good at content. It's also something that I wanted to do in the first place. And the last one, simplicity, I needed to run a business model that allowed me to have a simple model where I just serve people, I make content, I get on calls. And that's what I do today. So the first thing that I actually did to just get straight into the freaking sauce is I just went from offering done for you to done with you. So the first pivot and decision I made was in the actual model I was running itself, because the way, like, the model you run your business with dictates how your life looks. If you run a done for you model with a large team, large ad spend, etc., you're going to do high revenue, lower profit, which isn't a bad thing. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. There are many people that do that. But it just wasn't for me, right? So you have done for you and done with you. My business before was a done for you business. I offered done for you Facebook ads to real estate agents. And I realized, okay, hey, if I want to build a business that's in alignment with these priorities up here, I'm going to need to pivot how I actually deliver my service. Because fundamentally, a done for you service, your time is associated to money, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Because there's a lot of cases right now in my business now, my time is still associated to money, except my time is worth a lot more, and I enjoy the time that I give people for money. Okay? So I went from doing a service to using that knowledge that I had in my agency to teaching the skills that I had. And basically all I did was I packaged up the ideas that I had in my agency and I launched a consulting business. And for most people, it's one or two routes. Like when I'm speaking to you right now, I'm speaking to the old version of me that was running an agency. So I'm hoping that maybe that's kind of where you're at. If not, this still might help you out. But most people that are doing this and they want to go the done for you route for multiple different reasons, more profit, more fun, etc. You have the route to either go down here and serve your agency clients in a consulting model, or you could actually teach what you did. And there isn't a right or wrong here. Teach what you did. I'll give you an example. Like when I was offering the done for you Facebook ads to realtors, I realized that very quickly I wanted to become a coach. Like I wanted to be a business consultant. I think it sounded very cool, and that's what I wanted to do. And so the first thing that I did was, instead of just, selling how I scaled my agency right away, I basically offered coaching to my agency clients. Because a lot of the times you'll realize that your agency clients are already getting consulting from you, right? Like I would get on calls with my clients and I'd help them with their sales and I'd help them with strategy and, a bunch of stuff. And I'm like, dude, I'm already teaching these guys. Like, why not just charge them for it? And I remember I offered it to one guy and he said yes. And he started paying me $2,000 a month, and he's a realtor. And that broke a lot of beliefs in me, because this guy was, 40 something years old and he was paying me for advice. And it's just because I had experience and I knew what I was doing. And so that's a route you can decide to go on. All right. I don't want to hit on this too much, but again, where you're currently at, if you want to follow the route that I'm going and have the same priorities as me, you make a decision on if you want to pivot the agency and done for you offer that you have to your current clients, which might be roofers or real estate agents or content creators or coaches. And just instead of doing it for them, help them implement it themselves, help them gain the skill set that you currently have. The other route to go down is to teach people how you actually ran your business, which a lot of people do. And a lot of my clients do that. Built a 6-figure a month agency and they help other people do the same thing. And they just built a coaching business off of it. Other guys are just coaching their actual realtor clients. You see what I'm saying? So that's the first decision I had to make. And when I did this, I broke a lot of limiting beliefs around, can I teach people and all this stuff. It was very fulfilling. I love coaching. I love consulting. I love getting on clients. Getting on calls with my clients. The time flies by. I call my client, 30 minutes, we'll go for an hour. It flies by and I really enjoy it, right? And it's in alignment with all these things. Like I want to run something that's fun, that I love to do, that I work with clients that I love to work with, which is honestly the main reason I didn't just continue coaching realtors, is because I didn't really feel like I loved working with them. I love working with the young entrepreneur that wants to build a kick-ass business and make a ton of money, right? So done for you to done with you. That was the first decision I made. And the number 2 decision I made was going from outbound to inbound. Now, this is something a lot of people come to me for, is help building an inbound system, but outbound was my bread and butter. That's what got me started in business. And this aligns with the first decision I made, because going from an agency like service provider to a coach or a consultant is a completely different sell. A service is very simple. It's like, dude, I'm going to run your Facebook ads for 3 months. A coach, hiring a coach, you have to trust that they are really, really good at what they do. And I believe it is very difficult to sell a coaching or consulting offer without any content on the internet. Like, it's very, very hard. And so these decisions kind of just lined up for me, where regardless, I wanted to go from outbound to inbound. Now, don't get me wrong. I was really freaking good at outbound. I had 6 VAs sending 800 to 1,000 DMs a day on Instagram. I had 2 appointment setters calling all of them up. So I had this operation going on with outbound, but I dealt with the cons that come with outbound. If you're doing outbound, you know how it goes. You deal with cold leads, you deal with low show up rates, low close rates, and yeah, there's workarounds and band-aid solutions you can put over it. But what I really, really wanted was to be viewed as an expert. Like, I wanted to post content and have people come to me. That's what I wanted. And I'm very clear about the intention and the priorities that I've set down for my business. And that's exactly what I've done. I went from outbound to inbound, building a content system and posting content on YouTube. And as a result of posting content, now I get inbound DMs from people, right? I haven't completely left like the outreach world. I tell my clients like outbound, you can do cold outreach. Again, reaching out to a stranger. I'm hoping you're familiar. And then inbound, right? We post content, you know that, but we also do something called warm outreach. And very simple, this isn't freaking rocket science, but all we do is we post insanely valuable videos on YouTube. We give everything that we know away. And then a certain select group of people are going to come and want to speak with us. They're going to follow us on Instagram. And then we do warm outreach, just reaching out, just like inviting them like, hey man, I would love to connect with you. Would love to talk with you. See what you got going on. See if I can help you. It's a completely different interaction between cold and warm outreach. So I do warm outreach in my business now. I'll hit people up. I'll connect with them. I'll see what they got going on. And if there's something I can help them with, I'll get them on a call and I'll give them an offer. Very simple, right? But this decision led to me, instead of chasing people down, attracting clients to me, which in reality, I think it's what everybody wants, but people just don't know how to do it. And that's something I help my clients with, is building an inbound machine, building a YouTube channel, a sales process through content to attract people to you and to be viewed as an expert. And in order to be viewed as an expert, my friend, you have to be good at something. Like, pick a thing, dude. Get good at it, right? For me, it's marketing, lead gen, sales, building a consulting business. That's my thing. And that's what I help people do. Like, literally, this is what I help people do. I tell people the best client you can work with is an old version of yourself, right? And so what did I do? I just found an old version of myself. I found a version of myself offering done-for-you services, a version of myself strictly doing outbound, a version of myself that didn't have freedom, didn't have high profit, didn't have simplicity, and that built a business he hated. I serve that version of Christian, of myself. So all of my clients, they're super similar to that old Christian. They're 22, they're running an agency, they're making money, they don't like the business, they don't really like the clients and the way that they're serving them. And I help them package up a consulting done with you offer, and I help them go from outbound to inbound and build out a YouTube channel, build out a process like that. These two decisions help me scale my business, and if this is in alignment with you, you should do it. If this isn't in alignment with you, if you don't want to make content, if you don't want to be a coach and get on calls with clients, don't do it, man. Very simple. Just what worked for me. I hope you got value in this video. If you did, subscribe, let me know, connect with me, hit me up on IG, and thanks for watching, man. I'll see you real soon. Peace out.